Alright, so we're headed to someplace in Melbourne.
We're going to the Florida Institute of Technology, where they have a botanical gardens that we can walk through. It is Saturday, so the university itself is closed, but the university has a lot of student housing, students who live on campus in dormitories and apartments. So students will be there because they live there.
Yeah, exactly.
So while we're there, we have to be respectful of the fact that this is private property.
We do.
And sections of it are people's homes.
Well, we do have to respect the privacy, which we do.
Now, from what I remember from decades ago, the Botanical Gardens was considered open to the public, within reason. Now, like the public parks are open from sunrise to sunset.
Yeah.
The Botanical Gardens, I believe, followed kind of the same principle. Sunrise to sunset. You weren't supposed to be there at night. Also, there wasn't any lighting. And there will be wind noise because the fan on the air conditioning unit
Doesn't work.
It died. So we have no AC, and it's June, and it's Florida. So we will have the windows down.
I apologize if you can't hear us.
They probably can hear us, but there's a lot of wind noise drowning a lot of it out.
And just keep in mind there's going to be a lot of wind noise, so just excuse that.
Yep. Well, when you don't have AC, and it's summertime, and it's Florida, you got although they've been having a heat wave north. I understand it's hotter in, Missouri and Illinois, in that area, than it is here.
We're going to go green in a minute.
Well, then just turn green, so we gotta wait our turn.
We got to wait our turn. So we're waiting at the red light. Waiting for the light to go green. There we go. It's gone green now. Now that people can hear us, we did pass Rockledge Gardens. And I was going to mention that, and I also considered saying that on the voiceover because of how loud the wind was. I considered doing a voiceover.
Maybe we should go to Rockledge Gardens.
We did go there to do the vending machine.
Yeah, we did. No, I was thinking of going to Rockledge Gardens and buying a plant.
And of course, we'll get a view out the side window here because this is where all the cool scenery is. And I think I have to have my face close to the microphone in order for people to hear me. I'm just going to assume that.
Probably hear you, it's not good.
I just have to have my face close to the mic, I think. Which I should know where the mic is.
Did you accidentally touch the mic?
Yeah, I accidentally covered the mic. I still have the video up, but I accidentally covered the mic in one of the videos.
That camera, the microphone, is off center and on top.
It's on the top. Microphone's on top.
Yeah,
And that's what I learned.
But it's off. It's not centered on top. It's off centered on top. And it makes exactly where it's comfortable to put your finger.
Even I Hate Escalators had that situation where he was filming with the TX100B and he said the microphone's on top.
The microphone being on top is the problem.
It's just where your fingers go.
Unless it's in the place where your fingers go.
Yeah, I wonder if we'll see a train, guys. I think we see a red light for the train. One of them's green, so.
I am not a train fanatic, so I do not know the deal with all the different lights and what they mean. I know the lights. If they're flashing when they're facing traffic, that means there's a train coming.
And I think this video is going to be filmed out the side window a lot.
Oh yeah, there's a better view.
You know, as much as I usually would film at the front, I think I'm just going to do the side since I'm operating the camera. I'd be better off filming out the side window.
Now, one of the problems that I'm told is an American problem with trains, there's one set of tracks in a lot of places. Well, most places I hear. So, we're in Europe. I've been told they have parallel tracks, and one is for going in one direction, and one is going for the other. Just like we have traffic lanes, and this side is only going this way, and that side is only going the other way.
Yeah.
They have that with trains. Because it was cheaper to build little side tracks every so often where a train could pull off. Now, it'd have to be big enough for the whole train. But one train could pull off to the side when the other one goes by. Helmet on.
Yeah, he's got a helmet on.
Shorts, not a helmet. At least he's not wearing flip-flops.
Yeah, I'm glad he's not.
I've seen him with shorts, no shirt, no helmet, flip-flops, and sunglasses.
Yeah, that's an epic fail when somebody's going there with, you know, with no shirt on.
Sunburn and windburn are an issue.
I think there's the cemetery that we're passing. There's where they bury the bodies, the unalived bodies. I'm just trying to be careful so YouTube doesn't censor my video.
When you're done using it, that's where they put what's left.
Yeah. Yeah.
building, but it's an office building. It's a bank.
Bank of America, which banks do not allow filming
No,
for privacy reasons.
for security.
Security reasons and privacy, because people take pictures to rob the place.
Yeah, that's a security. And it has other things in there, because I see a Remax, that's a real estate thing on the bottom.
I like that it is a shame that this does nothing.
Yep.
See, as you can see, I put.
The compressor kit here, you did that.
You would think that it worked, but it
I turn
doesn't.
this on, and I get that. The compressor still works.
But the AC itself does.
The fan doesn't work.
That's what we're
And if you
demonstrating.
run the fan, or try to run the fan, and it doesn't work while you're running the compressor, you can burn the air conditioner out.
Well, you're right about that, but I was just demonstrating the fact that it doesn't work.
Yep. It doesn't matter which part's broken, it don't work.
It don't work. And one of these days we're gonna get that fixed. One day. We'll have to call up the place to get our AC fixed.
Actually, to remind you when we get home, maybe I can make an appointment online.
Hopefully I'll remember that.
Because probably closed now. So you can close when we get home.
Alright, now we're stopping at a red light. Which means the audience will get to hear us now, because there's some buildings.
And there's another building.
There's a building.
What BRP.
But they do have an elevator, but we can't ride that because it's in a private business. I hope everybody enjoys joining us along on these road trips. I hope everybody enjoys that, because I sure do. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. there's the guy over there. I can't zoom in on him, but there he is over there on the front of the screen. It's probably far away, but I can't zoom in with this camera. There's cars in the way, he can't, and this camera doesn't have a zoom. This camera does pretty good for, I think, for wind noise, but it does have a noise cancellation, I think, on it. I don't think, I'm not running it because I try to take all the noise cancellations off, but I think it still defaultly has some. I'm not sure though. Because noise cancellation. Yeah. This is also, I think, a test of how the wind noise is picking me up. We'll find out how. I mean, regardless on how this video comes out, I'm still uploading it, but we're just seeing how the wind noise is going to be on this camera. Glad I'm using the Brave because this has a better focusing. This isn't losing focus. It's got infinite focus. We got a red light.
There's a UPS truck sitting on the trigger. Cars. Silver oven. Very dark color, 7 very dark colored vehicles.
Waiting for this light to go green because it's hot.
The bass in the car next to us, and they have their windows down.
I don't think it's even enough for YouTube to detect the song.
No, you can hit. All there is a drum.
I mean, even if it gets detected, it's not a big deal. I just don't think they're going to be able to detect the music. Therefore, it's not going to be detected. Okay, I got an extra battery, so let's put that back in. Zip it shut. So I do have an extra battery with me, so in case this one dies, which is good. So therefore, I got one battery that can be filmed for the road trip, and if I need another one, I'll swap it out when we get there. So this should be continuous video.
Oh, I hear a train. Right through there.
Right through there. I did show the battery.
I think that's a passenger. Yep.
And I know for a fact I can definitely show what kind of battery this thing takes.
There was another accident last week on the railway. Somebody on a bicycle got the
Yeah, and they crashed it.
Well, they've had a couple of cars who went around the barriers thinking they could go to the train, and a bicycle, at least one bicycle was not going to the train, and they've had people walking on the tracks.
These are what you call idiots. Don't do that, guys. I mean, my goodness.
Especially on tracks that have a high-speed train.
You know, it's like good. I mean, good Lord. I mean, people are just not very safe here.
Well, actually, that's not that many. The first pedestrian accident was the first two pedestrian accidents were within the first couple of weeks, and I don't think everybody realized that. Oh, hey, the high-speed one is through now. It's not the slower-moving freight trains.
I've seen videos on YouTube or videos on YouTube or the internet, and like I said, as much as I don't approve of shock videos, I have seen videos of people getting run over by trains where literally they're doing something stupid. They're doing something they're not supposed to.
The train goes on tracks. The tracks are clearly visible.
Yeah, I've seen videos where people were doing stupid stuff where they basically got run over their train. That's why.
Don't try and beat the train. Don't try and use the train's tracks and think, oh yeah, if I hear it, I'll just walk out of the way.
It's just people are stupid.
Yes.
And this is the kind of stuff that gets me every single time, that somebody will do that.
Just like you look both ways before you cross the street.
Yeah, exactly.
Situational awareness.
You have to be aware of things like that. You have to be aware of things like that.
Well, if you don't have situational awareness, you can run into people while you're walking.
Yeah. It'll be around this corner, I think.
Oh, it's way up. FIT is almost to Palm Bay, and we're beginning to
I hope you guys are enjoying this, and hopefully you can hear some of the things we're saying.
Shark's these long pants.
Look at that.
But he's got a helmet.
He's got a helmet on.
Yeah.
I think that's a store or car.
That's a
Business.
used to be a grocery store ages ago.
Yeah, ages ago. I heard that used to be a store. And there's the convenience store.
That was a grocery store when Diesel Juicy was preschool. It was a long time ago.
There's the airport.
Melbourne Airport.
You know, my dad mentioned that when we went by. I went by this one of the times, and Dad took me here to this.
I don't know if the camera's picking it up, but if you look past those trees, inside and see the cement light pole across the street, there's trees. You can see, I can see a tail end of the plane.
I can. And
I don't know
Dad,
if the camera's getting it.
I remember my dad took me up to the fence at one point where it's like you could look into the airport. I remember my dad drove by this once.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of wish I would have had a video of when my dad drove me by this place, because there was one time where it was me and Dad, and he took me by this airport, and that would have been cool to have a video of. That would have actually been a nice video that I could have had on the channel, because, you know, that airport, you know, my dad took me on a tour, I think, where he drove me by an airport, and he talked about how it was a great place. That's great. I'm gonna see if I can get that airport that my dad showed me. There it is, right there. That's cool.
I knew somebody who said his cousin, I think it was, had a contract with them where he had dogs. And the deal was that he came out every so often, and every so often was at least twice a week, I'm not sure what's daily, with his dogs during the slow times where there weren't any flights, and they would go through all the area around where the airplanes took off and landing, the runways and everything, and they would go through the grassy areas and chase away the birds. And the dogs would hunt up any bird's nests on the ground. These ducks nest on the ground. More new apartments.
The motorcycle's right next to us.
Yep, it's a Harley Davidson.
I think Jacob mounted the GoPro to his luggage. When,
Yeah, he clipped it to his luggage when he had a problem with the hotel rooms, and he figured he would use that as a stealth camera to see how they handle the issue. Now, it was aimed low.
it was aimed low.
Because it was on the luggage, so.
But he complained and said, my room has all this.
Yeah, my room has problems, and he laid out the problems. And they apologized, and they took him to another room.
Which, I mean, that was cool because, you know, his room did have problems. And Jacob, you know, did a very good video about that hotel.
I think that was a 2-bed room.
Yeah.
And when he pulled the sheets back, one of the sets of sheets was dirty or something.
Yeah.
Well, see, that's why when you stay at a hotel, you do not make the bed.
Yeah.
Because if you make the bed, they might think you didn't, and there's 2 beds, they might think you didn't use that bed. And they might not change the sheets. Now, the policy may be we change all the sheets in all the bedrooms, all the bedrooms we check out. Whether it looks like we're sleeping or not. But even if that's the policy, you might get somebody who's having a lazy day, shall we say?
Yeah.
Who sees that you slept in one bed and thinks you didn't use the other one, and you change some sheets.
Exactly. But Jacob at least had the sense, he did a very good job complaining to the, and I think he mounted the GoPro to his luggage.
Yeah, he clipped it to his luggage and went downstairs, so it looked like he wasn't looking back.
And I thought it was an interesting video, honestly. I mean, Jacob did a very good video, I feel.
We may end up parking in there.
That's cool. That's cool. This is in Melbourne. This is a cool area, though. I think we're getting close to sure. Maybe we're not.
I am not sure where everything is.
There's Florida Tech.
Yeah, Florida Tech. Look, yeah, Florida Tech is Florida Institute of Technology.
Whoa, that's a hard bump. Sorry. That was just a bump. Yet I wasn't expecting to go.
Maybe you turn in Country Club Road.
This should be fun. Not sure where it's wanting us to go.
It wants us to go back that way someplace. Probably one of the main parking lots.
This is a neighborhood.
That's a neighborhood. That's the university.
That's the university. So
yeah.
we're just going around.
If you look to the left, not the right, because the right is that's people's houses.
Yeah.
If you look to the left over here, that's the university property.
Yeah. This is still a nice drive around. I really enjoy this. And now we got the stop sign that we gotta stop for.
Okay, we can't go this way. Restricted access.
Restricted access.
That means no. I am unsure of where the parking garage is.
Yeah, I'm unsure. We'll try and find it though. I know there was an FIT parking garage. I'm trying. No, there is no way that that is it. There is like no way.
It appears to be far too enclosed. They might have parking on the first floor.
This is still fun, I think.
I'm not sure we'll be able to find it.
Yeah, we'll still go through it. So even if there's no elevator vibe, we'll still do something fun on this video. And I could probably film with the camcorder when we go through the gardens.
Yeah.
This part will be filmed with the Brave, and like I said, I'll string this together. This is a fun road trip, just driving around. Or going to that place is what the title will be. So we'll just do the. I just gotta go with the fun. Try and find the parking garage.
Parking garage may have
Maybe key card. Well, if they're key card, we'll just, I guess, skip it then. If they do key card.
I'm gonna go all the way to the park up here. They set that up, or if there's some benefit.
I wonder if what destination we have on the map.
The map I just said FIT, and I think the directions were to I can't remember the science. Because once I went past
And there's a CVS, I think.
this part was fairly pale. The FIT's been expanding over the years.
Whoa. Was not expecting that.
I wasn't sure how long the yellows were. So when it turned yellow, I didn't want to run it, right?
Yeah, exactly, because we don't want to run red lights.
No, running red lights.
Yeah, it's illegal.
It's illegal. It's dangerous. MIT owns this building.
Yeah. really do.
So now this is
People really do need to get better mufflers, I think. Yeah, more antlers. There might not be any elevators.
and white.
So I guess we're gonna stop here.
Yeah, we're gonna stop here. Over there is an entrance to it.
Alright, so
We'll stop over there. Swing through here.
I'll switch over to my camcorder, I guess.
Next to the handy spot.
Yeah, so we're gonna switch
There's
over.
an entrance to.
Yeah, that's cool. So we're just gonna switch. We're gonna swap over to the camcorder. So now,
This says it's student parking, but
all right. So we're gonna swap over to the camcorder. Watch this. I'm just gonna put
it's
the.
Saturday, so there's no classes, and I'm not taking up the spot that I'm using.
So we're swapping over to the camcorder. So here we go. This is the battery. So. All right. All right. What the frick?
What?
Something just happened. I heard a beep, 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 beep. That's never good.
No, that's never good. Okay, I'll
That's,
put this in the trunk.
yeah. I was kind of scared there. I was like, what just happened? I heard a beep, 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 which is never good because the camera, something went wrong. I hope my video's not corrupted. Alright, let's just... I just hope my video's not corrupted.
Well, you just started that, right?
Well, I started the camcorder, but I heard a beep, beep, beep on the Brave, and I hope the camera's not corrupted.
Do you want to come in here, or you want to start at that entrance?
We'll start at that. Start at this entrance.
Because that one looks like the main entrance over
I know, but I'm just saying I hope my camera didn't
there.
corrupt.
I hope your video's
Because I really...
That's the nice thing about the ones that chop it up into increments.
Well, I can use the beginning. I just wonder how much am I going to be able to use now that the camera just did that. Well, that kind of scares me. Because it never did that before. I don't think the video deleted because I was able to stop recording, but I'm just concerned. Because I heard a beep, 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 which usually means something went wrong. But you know what, we're not going to focus on that. The video should be fine. I just have to play it back. I think it was the camcorder that did that. I'm not sure which camera did it. I think it's the camcorder, but we'll...
This is to the Evans Library. Or is it both the ramp and the steps go up to this lower house.
Well, we're just gonna go through it because I need to be cooled down. I wonder what the library has.
It's a college library.
Do they have an elevator in there?
Well, it's closed. It probably does have an elevator because it's multi-story.
Yeah, we'll have to come here one of these days to ride it.
Well, it's a private university.
Well, I understand that, so we might not be filming that.
Fun fact on the library, the Melbourne Mall used to be a cow pasture. When the guy who owned it passed away, he donated, see, there's the library.
Yeah. What's this building?
Esports? That sounds like a gaming center.
I wonder if they have any.
Esports is video games.
Yeah.
He donated the land to FIT.
I don't think that building's open.
No. On the condition that they sell it and use the money to build a library. Yeah, there's a plaque over here.
Oh yeah, that's cool. We'll get that on our video. Actually, I think the camera recorded just fine. It did that beep beep, which I don't know why it did that.
In the memory of Robert S. Heidinger, 1946 to 1995. Student, faculty administrator, friend, and fisherman.
The camera did something weird. I don't know what it did.
We'll figure it out.
I don't think the video is corrupted though, because if it was corrupted, it would have frozen, but it didn't.
And see, this is the Joy and Gordon Peterson Botanical Gardens. Florida.
I think what happened to the camera was the battery died or something.
That's Molly Butterfly Road.
Maybe it's that I got low battery. Maybe it's the low battery warning.
Here's a map of
Yeah, there's the map.
it. Does it have a UR here? And over to our left here. Oh, to our right there's a bench.
Yeah, there's a bench.
A gift from the Pattersons. If you go this way, I think it is this way, yeah. There's an old schoolhouse. Don't believe you can go in, just look at it. Okay, this is the Little Red Schoolhouse. It's Melbourne's oldest surviving schoolhouse. Now they had one before, but those are torn down. Built, see, here's the thing. Built in 1883 by John Good at his house on the river. Black and white students attended 5 to 6 summer months. They sat on benches, they wrote on slates, they drank from a well. And the Historical Society bought it in 1970 and moved it here.
There you go, got a photo of that. That'll be our thumbnail, I guess. Since.
Well, here's another bench. Another Patterson bench. Yep, it's another bench from the Pattersons. Those are nice benches.
Okay.
I used to know them. Turtle pond, heart of palm garden, butterfly garden, a teardrop garden. Oh, there's all sorts of stuff here. There's a little thing over in here.
Yeah. Well, I guess we'll go through that later.
Side quest.
All right.
Oh, that's just that's a maintenance building.
Okay.
Oh,
Well, this is the area. This.
oh yeah, it says staff only. I missed the sign.
I don't think this
We
is.
didn't go very far in it though, so we're okay.
Yeah. And they'll know that we accidentally did that. So.
Well, the thing says, oops.
Well, if they watch the video, they'll know it's an
If they
accident.
watch the video, they'll know that,
You know, so it's not a big deal.
yeah.
It's we're not doing any criminal
What do you
activity.
wanna see? Well, pretty much everything is out.
Yeah.
Turtle Pond, Bamboo Trail,
Ugh.
Evans Hall, and the community center. Now, we're not going to go to Evans Hall or the community center.
I'm not having fun with the sweating, but
Well,
okay.
you see him? See where my hand shadow is?
Yeah, I see it.
There's little fish, and over that way there's bigger fish.
Yeah. I'm just getting overheated.
We've got places to sit down in the shade. There's the turtle.
Yeah, I can't focus on them when I'm all sweaty. Sorry. There.
There's not a turtle statue. Those are real turtles.
Sorry if I can't get
There's
focused
a lot
on.
of turtles.
I just can't get focused on things when I'm all sweaty like this. I just want to get to a part.
That's not the gardens anymore. That goes to dormitories.
Okay, well then I guess we're gonna.
Enjoy the shade for a second with a little bit of a breeze, and
Yeah, I want that.
then we'll walk some more.
I don't know how long we're gonna do this for.
Well, we'll just do a loop. Okay?
I don't want to spend too long here.
Okay, yeah, I know you're hot, but you wanted to come.
Well, I wanted to come because I forgot.
You forgot that it's hot?
Yeah, I did because I thought this would be a good day, but
It's June.
I hate June. June and July are the worst. All right, well we'll just go through here.
Yeah, it's like it has kind of like a circle.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to swap the battery for the Brave when I film.
See, it's got little canals. Over there's a bench that you have to get from the sidewalk to the other side.
So the elevator at
Lots of
FIT.
butterflies.
So the FIT partners we haven't found, have we?
No. I don't know where that is.
Well, I'm sorry if I make you mad.
No, you're not making me mad. I'm just telling you, I do not know where that is. Ooh, listen. I heard a waterfall.
Yeah, there
Right
it
there.
is. I usually don't complain a lot in my videos, but this is one of those situations in every single video.
I think these purple flowers are ruella,
Yeah, I think so.
which is an exotic invasive.
Ugh. Ugh.
There's another bench.
Even worse, we don't even have AC.
Well, if I can use the wind to keep coming through all day long.
I'll have to come here in a better time.
Well, if you want to come when it's not hot, you have to come in the fall.
Yeah. Ugh.
This one takes you to the high pagoda. I think that takes you back, the way you're headed takes you back to the dorm.
Okay. This might be very short.
Is that where I this way.
So our way back is...
It's got a bunch of little paths.
Yeah. So I think our way back is going to be this way, right?
Yeah, this is taking us back.
All right, so... I mean, we're just going to try and find the parking garage.
I drove where I thought it was, and it wasn't there.
Well, it was. We thought...
I did not, there, the area we went past, the buildings, it was walled off. You can go there.
Well, this will just be an adventure, walking around and driving around. So we are finding our way back to the car, I think.
Well, that's the parking lot for the parking.
Okay, so I think we're headed back. So where do we go to get back to the car?
The car, this way will take us to the car.
Oh, well,
I'm pretty sure this is the parking lot that we parked in.
I'm pretty... I hope so. Because... this has kind of been a short walk around. Because we
didn't go every place before.
Yeah, but we will do a more in-depth video in the future.
We'll probably go back on this way in the shade,
Okay.
because we're farther that way.
All right. Well, there will be a more in-depth video in the
There's a
future.
mirror there, so you can see around the corner.
In the future, we'll do a more in-depth video.
Okay.
I think in the future when it's
We'll
cooler.
come by when it's cooler. I bet over Christmas break would be a good time to come.
Yeah, but this is just a little preview of what to come in the future. This is just a small...
Well, come over Christmas break. The students are, a lot of them gone home for Christmas.
Well, this will just be
And it's
taken...
cooler.
This will just be taken
This
as
is
a...
a teaser, right?
Yeah, this is just a teaser for that upcoming video, because couldn't really show everything, so this is just a preview of what to expect when I do come here. A more in-depth video will be done later, and like I said, we're also doing the Oaks Mall trip someday too, after we get the AC fixed.
Pavilions that we saw from the other side.
Yeah. I really wish I would have videoed when my dad took me to the airport. I really wish I would have videotaped when my dad took me to the airport, because or drove me by the airport.
That way.
Because we had an interesting adventure.
Hang a left on this sidewalk.
There were times where I had interesting adventures, and I wish I would have saved the video. Because honestly, it would have made a good YouTube video. Now that I think about it.
Well, the problem we had was you kept delaying rendering your videos.
And
when computers crashed, you lost them.
you know, because there was a really cool video that I did with Dad driving around here that would have been awesome to upload. And I'm sure everybody would have loved that video. That video would have been awesome. We're recording now. We're leaving.
Yep, and that's the end of our 90-degree heat index of 101. Andrew was dying from the heat. Quick tour of a sample of the Botanical Gardens at Florida Institute of Technology.
Yeah, and I'm just going to have to remember to cut out before we get to the car so I don't dox myself. I thought it was just the license plate, but it turns out it's not just the license plate. So, we're getting out of here. Ugh.
Yeah, well, I have to wait for a cab.
I'm not going to complain about having to edit because it's just one edit. It's one simple edit. Okay. I can do a transition. That's a cool thing too. I can do a transition.
Let's talk to each department.
We were gonna try and find the bird ride, but I don't think we can find it. So.
Well, I don't know where it is.
Might be it over there.
But you wanted me to have time to call and have the air conditioner, right?
Yeah, so
Which
I guess.
is more important.
Well, AC more important. So I guess we'll do that another time.
Yeah.
Still
Maybe
worth.
we'll do that over Christmas.
Yeah, this video is still worth editing. I know I have to edit one part out, but it's not a big deal because it's only one part that has to be cut out of the video. I wish I would have known not to show opening the trunk.
Up there you can see, your camera probably can't see, but you can see the train tracks, and there's a light where we can turn left onto US 1 after the train track. As the houses would go up for sale on like across the street or behind the parking lots and stuff, we would buy the houses. When we drove to that day, I told you the right side was houses and the left side was the university. The left side used to be empty, and at the end of it, the left side used to be some houses. They bought them up. Bought them up, combined the properties, and put the university stuff.
We shall wait for this light to open.
But they were buying up the houses around it until they were ready to expand, because the houses were something else that they were renting out at a discount to employees. So the employees would have an incentive to stay, even though the pay wasn't great. We had a discount on the And you can't complain about the noise if there's a concert, party or something. You can't complain about the noise that the students are making because you're complaining to your boss and your landlord.
Record a lot of the time. Look at those motorcycles.
One with a helmet, one without.
Well, that's typical behavior here.
Guy with sunglasses on.
That's normal behavior in this area.
Nah, it's probably normal behavior in a lot of areas. He's got sunglasses on, that's it.
any rain now. Yeah, exactly.
Florida ice is?
Florida ice is ice cubes that fall out of the sky.
No, that's it.
Water that comes down.
When roads have ice on them up north in the wintertime, they're slippery.
Yeah.
Florida doesn't get cold enough, at least not around here, for ice to form on the roads.
But rain.
But the first few minutes of rain, or longer depending on how much rain it is,
Can get slippery.
well, you know how tires wear out?
Yeah.
They wear out and little bits of rubber are on the road. And you see the dark stripe down the middle of the road?
Yeah.
That's fluids that are leaking. When it first starts to rain, there's a slick on top of the water, or of water and oils and rubber on top of the road. And in some ways, it's kind of like driving on ice. So when it first starts to rain, you have to watch out for what they call Florida ice, which is that slit on the roads when it first starts to rain. And when it rains heavy, you have to be careful with the hydroplane on the water that's oil and petroleum products basically and water is on for a while. We're here.
And the bag is caught on the seatbelt, but
Is it built?
I think maybe it's
Yeah, it's buckled into your seatbelt.
nice.
Actually, they recommend, back when I was in school, high school, they recommended, for most of the cars had air conditioning. A lot of cars didn't have air conditioning, so you rolled the windows down. But they recommended to women that you buckle your purse into your seatbelt.
Yeah.
Because that way if somebody reached the window to grab your purse, they couldn't grab it. Sound cool?
Yeah. Well, they can still get it if they unlock the door and unbuckle the
Well,
seatbelt.
they have to unlock your door, open your door, reach across here, unbuckle you, take your purse, and then go. You don't think you're going to whop them upside the head while they're doing that?
I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
I think they'll get their ass kicked if they try to do that.
Now, but if my purse is just sitting, say my purse is sitting on that seat and I'm driving by myself, or way in the front seat, the purse is just sitting there, they can reach into the window and take it.
Exactly.
And be gone before I can react. But if it's buckled, they have to reach over here to get it.
Yeah. If they're gone.
Or they're dangling up the street. Or which way I can walk when you have some making noise.
This has been a cool drive around. I know there's probably a lot of wind noise, I think, in the
A lot of
background.
traffic.
So therefore, I mean, we'll figure out how the audio is picking this up when we watch. Because this is still a good video regardless. I'm still putting it up. I'm just Not sure if this is good. This is
You're wondering how the audio is going to be.
when I watch back the footage.
Every time I see these flashing yellow lights, the first glimpse I have of it, I put up the gas and the light just turned down. No, that's flashing. Still.
I started doing this road trip series because I've been bored. It's an idea that I had in my mind when I was bored to start doing road trip videos.
Oh, let's go for a car. How do I film it? So I can. They have elevators in there, I'm sure, but that's an apartment complex. There's something that you can't build there. Not without permission or views and stuff.
These red lights are a long trigger.
Well, there's a lot of traffic.
That'd be cool.
There was a trigger for cross traffic.
Yeah.
And I believe there was somebody in the left turn lane.
Oh, now we're green.
So they go first. Because there was a trigger for them go first and then we are. This is one of the reasons why time estimates underestimate your time. They don't walk red lights.
Yeah, exactly.
A red light isn't that long. But if you've got a lot of red lights, it can make a significant difference.
Of course it can.
We got a lot of lights.
Of course.
If we could hit. Oh, it's right here.
Oh no, this is smelling bad. This smells like something died. That's what it smells like.
Algae. Yeah, live on the river, have all this nice scenic view, easy access to the water, going boating. Keep your windows closed, because it stinks outside.
Yeah. Who knows what it smells like?
It smells like the river.
It smells like the river.
Yeah.
It also smells like something is gone.
It smells like
Yeah, it smells like someone, I guess, died.
It smells like dead fish.
Yeah, that's what it smells like here.
It probably isn't dead fish, but. And the river water isn't entirely stagnant, but there are places where it tends to cool and sit.
Yeah.
And you'll get algae blooms, and some of them smell bad.
Of course they smell bad.
What's really bad is when there's a red tide. Red algae blooms. that releases stuff in the air that make your eyes burn. It's not soft. Why that curve is there? There's a bicycle lane inside of it. Too many people, I imagine, are crossing the bicycle lane. You know, the smell isn't as bad here, is it?
No, it's not as bad here.
We're just as close to the river. But I would assume that the shoreline is straighter here, or bulges out. Now, where it smelled particularly bad, there was a creek, glorified drainage ditch that drained into the river. And that's going to be smellier because the water in the ditches moves slower. Not water in the creeks moves slower. Like where you filmed the fish,
Yeah.
the water wasn't moving very fast, was it?
No.
If you have a lot of water in the sun, it's moving very slowly, it's more likely to smell bad. Bridges is a spot where they tend to be really smelly. Slow buzz.
Now it's cool, I think. We're stopping at a red light now. Oh, now we're green. And there's a park.
Another Rotary Park.
This one I've been to before.
Yeah, you've been to that one. Don't have a big.
Don't have a video of it, but
It's not a very big park.
not a very big one. bright line? Yeah, I see on the side, but I'm getting a video of it right now. Bright line. There you go, we got a bright line.
Two bright lines.
Well, you have to put tape over it.
You always have to hide the number when you...
Yeah, they can put tape over it. Even though I don't think it reveals much of anything, though. But I'm not too sure, though.
I can put tape on the other side.
I don't think it reveals much information because I believe I've shown it once, but I think I've shown it like once, but I'm not sure how many times I've, you know, if I've shown it, it was accidental, but I think I showed it once without zooming in on it. I try to make sure that our license plate's not shown, but I think we may have accidentally shown it once, even though technically it's publicly available knowledge. I don't think they can get anything off that number on the e-pass.
I don't think so. I don't know. But if I put a piece of painter's tape over that, it's not going to hurt it because all the sensing is done.
And I'm trying to make sure I don't delete any videos because for some reason my mind keeps telling me to delete stuff, and it really bothers me that my mind keeps doing that because there's no, because all the videos that are up on my channel are fine, and anything that wasn't fine has been put on private, not deleted. And even stuff that was to be taken down didn't get deleted, they got put on private. So that's another thing to be noted too.
It says we are now 90 degrees with a heat index of 100. So we are not any cooler than we were in Melbourne. But I think the wind has died down and the humidity is definitely up. Yeah, a little less wind, a little more humidity.
And there's that building with the elevator that I rode once.
Put that on next week's list.
Yeah, I think so.
This week we got a road trip and a new park mini video.
Yeah.
And there's a big two-story building. This was a long day. Probably could have made that. But I'd rather stop just as it turns red and the people behind me than run it and get T-boned. Remember that bad driver with the fire truck?
Yeah, I remember that.
And what did we see on the passenger side? We saw a dent where somebody hit the side of them.
Exactly.
And somebody hitting the side of you usually means you ran a red light or a stop sign. Or they did. Somebody hit the side of you. And given their behavior at that light, I'm assuming they ran a light and somebody hit them. That's why I told your nephew, even though he's got a driver's license, that he can't take you any place unless it's an emergency. Until he's had a license and been driving for at least a year.
And the deal is, I'm too old. Not that I'm too young, it's I'm too old because Riley is, so you have to be born in 2009 instead of 2004.
No, the deal where he took his brother someplace is he was going home and his brother needed to go with him. So the choices are brother rides with him or the parents make a trip out to his house following him and then come back.
I think we're getting close to the end of this video.
We're getting close to the end. You aren't going anyplace without me, right?
I know that.
So there are people who are experienced drivers who will be driving. In emergency situations, all bets are off. Emergencies are different. But you're not needed to babysit.
No.
So there's no situation where there's no sense of making two trips. One trip each in two vehicles when one trip is one vehicle.
Where should I end the video?
Put it at crossing the road.
Yeah, I think we're ending crossing the railroad track. We gotta end this someplace so I don't accidentally dox myself. And I also gotta remember to edit that one part out.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't be a big deal.
Riding in a car with somebody who's had a driver's license, people get in more accidents and get more tickets than first-time drivers because they're inexperienced. And they've got their reflex system, but not necessarily familiar with spotting things ahead of time.
Yeah.
Most accidents happen within 10 miles of home because you're driving within 10 miles of home.
Anyway, I think we're about to get to...
Tracks or this light, so you can stop anytime you want.
Well, I'm probably, since there's nothing else to see here, I think we're just gonna say that's it and
Yeah, 'cause
goodbye.
we already saw a train, so we're just stuck.